Imran, we are at your house, right, in Islamabad. I mean, this is a beautiful house. Did you build it yourself?
It's not a house, it's a paradise. I call it a paradise. Yes, I built it myself. I've been living here for 3 years. I think my ex-wife might have got some of the things.
Now, yesterday, the Olympic torch arrived to Pakistan, and President Musharraf was there, and Prime Minister Gilani. For some reason, 1,000 people attended, but they forgot you.
Well, it doesn't matter if they forget me. I mean, sports is part of my past.
And you're probably the most famous sportsman from Pakistan overseas.
Well, firstly, in the presence of General Musharraf, I would never have attended that ceremony because he's a usurper. He has no legitimacy, he is unconstitutional, he has no mandate to be the president.
Mm-hmm. Now, actually, I mean, you didn't actually, you chose not to run to these elections. So explain to me why.
Well, the reason was simple. My party stands for independence of judiciary. We call ourselves Movement for Justice. You cannot stop the abuse of power of a government until the judges are independent. And so for the first time in our history, the judiciary stood up for its independence. And as a result, a military dictator sacked them illegally, unconstitutionally. Now, there's no way my party was going to fight elections when 60% of the Superior Court judges were sacked.
I actually love his quote just a couple of days before the elections, that it's going to be democratic elections, and his soldiers are going to make sure that if somebody is creating any chaos, they would shoot him. That's a good democracy.
Well, the world has seen military dictators come and go. According to the poll, the Gallup poll conducted a few days back, 81% of the population wants the Chief Justice and the judges back.
Mm-hmm. Now, Imran, since you're such a close friend of Musharraf, you also experienced 7 days in jail. And in the West, they even said at one point that you were facing death sentence.
Well, he put me in jail on terrorist charges. And I was, put in jail under these terrorism laws. And
you have never been in jail before, right?
No,
no, but in Pakistan it's quite a costume. So
no, I'd never been in jail, and I never thought I would be in jail. But anyway, he put me in jail in one of the worst jails. I don't know what he thought, that I'd get scared. No, he put me in solitary confinement, and at midnight, at sunset, they allowed me before sunset to sit outside, and then at sunset the doors would close.
Were you aware that in the West they said that you're facing death sentence?
Well, I mean, the charge, if they charge you for terrorism, that is a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I think you live from day to day. The only thing I know is that I have never known 1 hour to take so long to pass. I mean...
you have nothing to do, right?
Well, I did a bit of reading, but it was just, normally I find 24 hours in a day are not enough for me. And here I was, I would keep looking at my watch, and I thought 4 or 5 hours must have passed, and it would be only half an hour.
Now, you actually did a hunger strike.
Yes, I did a hunger strike after the 5th or 6th day. And it was because I felt that the attention, Musharraf had announced elections, and the attention was being diverted from these heroes of Pakistan, who were our judges, who had taken a stand for the independence of judiciary. So I decided that I would focus the attention back on them. And that's why I did a hunger strike.
But I understand you did it the whole way. I mean, you didn't only stop eating, you stopped drinking. I mean, it was...
Yeah, I didn't know at the time, I mean, I thought I was, I had never, done a hunger strike. I'd fasted, of course, like every Muslim does. And you don't eat or drink for, from sunrise to sunset.
During Ramadan, yeah.
But this, after the second day, after 48 hours, I didn't realize that I couldn't walk properly.
I mean, what was the most difficult moment in jail? I mean, you didn't know that you were going to be freed that soon. So what was the most difficult moment?
I don't know. I mean, I actually didn't find it that difficult because I had a lot of books. As I said, I was bored, and my party became leaderless. And we were actually in a very good position to fight elections. So that was the frustrating bit. I didn't know what was happening. I was in solitary confinement. I couldn't be in touch with anyone. So I think it was suddenly being cut off from everyone else. That was more difficult.
The lack of knowledge. And at one point, even your sister were arrested periodically, right?
That annoyed me much more than my own arrest.
Same.
Because my sisters and women, my relatives, and what really annoyed me was that they beat them up.
I have to tell you that after you were arrested, I called your house in Lahore because I wanted to talk to your sister to see that everything is fine. And I didn't know they were arrested, so somebody picked up the phone and said, no, nobody is here. No, you cannot contact anyone. Everybody's in jail. So I said, what the hell is going on? But that's horrible.
Well, it just reflected the mindset of a military dictator because, you know, he was using any means. Here he was portraying himself to the West as a liberal, as a bulwark against Islamic militancy and terrorism and Islamic radicalism. And all he was clinging on to power.
Now, your ex-wife, Jemima, and I was in London at the time, was really vocal to try to rescue you. How do you feel about it? It was more than support. It was
Well, I mean, you know, we got divorced, but our divorce was a very amicable divorce. It was because two of us realized that she could not live in Pakistan and I could not live outside Pakistan. And once we had realized that, even though we are divorced, but you know, if something like that happened to her, I would probably be doing exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, she will always be the mother of my two sons.
Mm-hmm. Did they know what happened to you? I mean, they're still young. I saw them. How old are they?
Well, children, one is 11 and one is 9.
Mm-hmm.
The younger one, you know, he heard that I had gone underground. And so, you know, he heard that I was underground. He thought I'd literally gone underground, you know, under the ground. So it was quite funny.
How do you remember the moment that you found out that you can go free?
They came to arrest me and I sort of got away. And I wanted to organize my party. So I sort of stayed underground.
So what happened? How did they cancel the charges? I mean, what happened?
I think they realized that me inside was going to be more of a problem for Musharraf than outside.
Now, I mean, talking about Jemima, but still, afterwards, I remember that you're not only more bonded, you feel a different kind of relationship.
No, I think it's just that Jemima has got more politicized than before. She was she helped me initially when I was campaigning, So I think she got more and more and got involved in my politics.
Which maybe if that happened in the past, you wouldn't be divorcing.
Well, we still would have had a problem, you know. I think it's very difficult to leave your country and go and live somewhere else. And especially for her, because, you know, she's close to her family and her friends. Put it this way, you know, I have spent so much of my life in England. I went to university, I played professional cricket for almost 18 years. 18 summers I spent in England. Yet if someone asked me to live outside Pakistan, I would find it impossible. To live in another country is not easy.
In Pakistan, women are not treated the same. Some of the women are not treated the same way.
Well, I mean, look at my sisters, though. You know, one is an economist, works for the UN. One is a surgeon. One is one of the top exporters in Pakistan, a businesswoman. In the West, somehow it is perceived, because they don't understand the culture, they think somehow women are, mistreated here, or women don't have the same rights.
So basically, by now you realize that East cannot meet West. Something you did. Love cannot conquer.
Not necessarily. I think there is no standard rule. There are a lot of people I know who have surmounted this cultural gap. People from, men from here or women from here have gone and married and lived in Western societies. And similarly, there have been women who have completely lived here, adapted, men and women, Western men and women, and have lived here. But it didn't work in our case.